Hi, I'm Debbie Minnerly with the Poughkeepsie Public Library District. This video shows you how to create a Gmail account on a computer. The steps are similar on a smartphone, whether it's Android or Apple. This will be your Google account and can be used for other Google applications like creating Google Docs or Sheets, using YouTube, and accessing Google Classroom. Websites can change, so you may find that some screens look different than what I'm showing you today, but they should still work the same. You may need to look on the page to find what you need. This is the Poughkeepsie Library website. To get to the site where I can set up a Gmail account, I'll click in the address bar at the top of the window, type in gmail.com, and press Enter on the keyboard. Now we're at the Google site to create a Gmail account. This is also known as a Google account. You can see the website here, accounts.google.com. We won't be signing in since we didn't create an account yet, so we'll click Create Account to get started. In the list that appears, click For Myself. On this screen, you'll type in your first name and your last name, and the box is provided. The next step might take you some time, creating your username. This name must be unique. It has to be different than the 1.5 billion Gmail accounts that have already been created around the world. This is the email address that you will give to others so they can send you emails. So make sure it's something that works for you. For jobs, it should be professional. Gmail may suggest a username. If they suggest one and you're okay with the suggestion, you can move on. In the example here, I tried to use my own first name and last name, but that didn't work. Someone already has it. I learned that after I put in the password. We'll talk about that next. I can try a different name or try adding some numbers at the end, in the middle, or even at the beginning. When creating your username, don't make it too many numbers or letters. Remember, you'll be telling people that email address or writing it down a lot, so you don't want it to be too complicated. The username can't have spaces. Capitalization doesn't matter, but you can set it up that way if you'd like. I was able to use my last name before my first name. The ending of your username is the @ symbol followed by the domain of the email provider, in this case, gmail.com. Over here on the right side, you'll see @gmail.com. Now that you have a username, a secure password is the next step. A password is a key to get into your account. Just like you wouldn't want a key for your house to be easy to find and use, you don't want your email password to be too easy. How do you create a secure password that you can remember? Well, there's a lot of advice out there. First of all, don't use simple words. Red 12345 is 8 characters, has letters and numbers, but it's way too easy to guess. I'm going to try that now. Google says that was too easy, so they gave me a message about it. So here's a suggestion, but don't use this because I'm telling everyone. Bunny Red Bugle House 86 is better because it's long and has random words and numbers that mean something to me. I just have to remember the 4 words in the correct order, called a passphrase, and the numbers in the correct order. The password is masked so others can't see it while I'm typing it, but that means I can't see it either. To see my password that I typed, I'll click the eyeball on the right side, and now I can actually see what I typed. Some websites do have this available. You can turn it on or off as needed. Now that my password is showing, can you see that I used some capital letters there? That's important. A capital R is not the same as a lowercase r in a password. It's like a teeth on a key. If they don't all match the lock, the key won't open the door. You'll need to match the password every time you type it. I can make this password stronger by putting in some special characters like $signs, %signs, etc., but Gmail doesn't require that. Keep in mind that you should use a different password for each website where you create a username. I'll click Next to move on. If the username isn't available, you'll see a message in red under the username that I showed you a few minutes ago. If you need to try a different one, Gmail usually keeps your password in place so you don't have to retype that with each try. If your username is available, you should arrive at this screen. Since your password was accepted, write it down somewhere so you'll have it when needed. But it shouldn't be stored with the email address. You wouldn't leave the key to your house in the lock, would you? I hope not. Now that we're at the next step, notice that Google referred to me by the first name that I typed in the box on the previous page, and it shows the email address that I requested. This is important. This email account will help you get into other accounts that you create. Write it down before you move on. Include the username and @gmail.com, no spaces anywhere. On this screen, you'll see that a phone number is optional. Just because it's optional doesn't mean you should skip it. If you have a cell phone with you and you usually keep the same phone number, it's a good idea to use that number here. You may be able to use a home phone, but currently Google is only sending text messages at this step, so you can't use a phone that doesn't have text messaging. Put in your working cell phone number now. Be sure to include the area code and only use numbers. No parentheses or dashes are needed. Google will send you your first text message after this page. Recovery email is optional. Fill this in only if you have another email account that you can log into. Setting this up means you're telling Google the other email account can be used to recover this new one. Birthday is required and should be your actual birthday. Gender is also required, but you can choose rather not say here. And then next to move on. If you used a phone number, you'll be asked if you would like to add that to your Google account. That is usually a good idea. It can be used to recover your account if you ever forget your password. And yes, that happens frequently to a lot of people. When you receive a text message from Google, it will be a short message with a number after G and the dash. The number is what you type in. It doesn't need to be written down or memorized because when you need to recover your account, a different number will be sent to you. I'll click Yes, I'm in to add that phone to my Google account. Now we're at privacy and terms. Read through the information. I agree is at the bottom of the screen. Click that and your Gmail account is created. You'll likely see a welcome screen. Click Next to view the welcome information. If you're asked to choose a view, you can leave it at the default that's already selected and click OK. This can be changed in your settings later if needed. You should now see your first email message from Google. Click on the message to see what they have to say. They usually just give you some information about your new account. After reading the message, click Inbox on the left side to return to seeing everything in your inbox. While there's not a lot in here now, it will fill up. Mail appears in date order with new mail at the top. Any new mail is bold. Open mail is not bold. For a tutorial on working with Gmail and how to use your Google account, go to gcflearnfree.org and search for Gmail to find tutorials. One more thing before we go. You see 3 tabs, primary, social, and promotions. Gmail automatically puts emails into categories. Click the gear icon, then configure inbox. Uncheck the social and promotions by clicking the check marks. Then click Save to save it. Your emails will now all be in the inbox instead of filtered into those categories, but nothing is lost. Always sign out of your account so no one else can access it unless you're on your own device. To sign out, you put your mouse on the initial for your first name on the right side. Notice that it shows my email address there. Click the initial to see what you can do. You can manage your Google account, add another account, and sign out. I'll click Sign Out. Now that I'm signed out, Google remembers my email address, but no one can access it unless they also have the password. To remove it from this computer, click Remove an Account, then click the red minus sign in the circle to remove your email address from the computer. I'll click Yes, Remove to remove it. Remember, you will be sharing your email address when looking for jobs or signing up on websites, so be sure that you write it down and keep track of it. Make sure you keep track of that password too. Never share your password. If you think someone has your password, you will need to change it. If you need help with that, let us know. By the way, I changed that password that I showed you. That's not my real password. Thank you for watching. Work with your new email account and ask for help when you need it. And I'll see you around the library soon.